GTM Podcast Porisat The Cannibal Episode 22 Final Episode. Hello everyone. You are listening to GTM Podcast Porisat The Cannibal. We hope you enjoy listening to this story so far. Now we have reached the conclusion part of the story. In case you have not listening to the previous episode just yet, for more understanding of the story, we suggest you go back and listen to them so that way you won't miss a thing and enjoy the story along as well. In case you enjoy the story and like it very much, don't forget to like, subscribe and share to all your friends and family. And let us begin with our final episode of Porisat The Cannibal. From the last episode, after Porisat was exiled to the forest, his son ascended the throne of Benares. Minister Kalahati had remained in his position, and when notified that King Sutasoma brought many people to the entrance of the city, he ordered the gates to remain closed. When King Sutasoma realized that Minister Kalahati had ordered the entrance to the city closed, he and several of his followers went to the gate and informed the guards that he wished to have an audience with the king. Minister Kalahati knew that King Sutasoma had traveled there and hurried to the city gates and welcomed him. Then he led them into the throne room and requested the queen, the counselors, and the oldest courtiers of King Brahmadatta, which is the last king, to join them. When all were present, King Sutasoma asked the minister, "Why were the city gates closed? Why do you not allow your king to enter the kingdom?" The minister truthfully replied, "When the king Brahmadatta was ruling this kingdom, he had eaten many people. He is a sinful person. That is why we do not allow him into the kingdom." King Sutasoma understood and said, "From this point on, you do not need to be afraid of Porisat. He will not exploit anyone again. Even if he must give up his life, he will not break the precepts. You should perform beneficial deeds for the kings as you have before." When he finished speaking, everyone was delighted. They consult each other and decide to invite Porisat to enter the kingdom and establish him as their king. They proclaim throughout the empire, "Do not panic when Porisat enters the city. He has stopped eating human flesh and is now observing the precepts." Finally, they invite King Sutasoma to lead the entourage outside of the city gates to where Porisat and 101 kings were resting. When they reached Porisat, the new king invited his father and 101 kings to enter the kingdom, welcoming them with a grand parade. Everyone rushed from their house to greet the kings. Some come to see Porisat and witness his transformation. Some to rejoice in his karmic retribution, and others wants to forgive him. After they enter the palace, the king ordered the royal barber to prepare his father's beard and hair, to bath him and dress him in imperial robes. Afterward, he invited his father to the throne room, and with the officials as witness, he asked him to again reign as the king of Benares and to sit on the royal throne. As a last gesture to his father, he returned the magnificent palace, the beautiful gardens, the royal carriage, the stables with the horse and elephants, and all possessions he enjoyed before becoming the cannibal. He was decided that after his coronation, he will be known as King Brahmadatta as he was before. On the day of the coronation, the people, filled with joy and happiness, decorated the great city of Benares and organized a lavish festival to honor the new king. To pay homage to King Sutasoma, King Brahmadatta invited his friend to extend his stay in his kingdom. His final declaration in celebration of the day, King Brahmadatta offered royal tributes to 101 kings. The story of how King Sutasoma stopped the cannibal from eating human flesh, received his promise to keep the 5 precepts, and the release of 101 kings who accompanied him on his journey with Porisat back to Benares to reestablish him as the king, spread throughout the realms. The people of Indapati and other kingdoms rejoiced when they heard the news, and each empire sent an ambassador to invite its king back to rule in their kingdom. King Sutasoma remained with his friend in Benares for a few months. When everything was settled, he said, "My friend, the time has come. I must leave." King Brahmadatta listened intently and said in protest, "My friend, stay here in Benares to be revered by my people." But when he did not receive a response, he said, "Your Majesty, when you came, my people and I revered you. You are considered an immeasurable royal grace. Since you are going to leave, are there any teaching or rules that I can continue to practice?" King Sutasoma said, "Friend, do not be careless in ruling your kingdom. Do not allow your citizens to be in danger. Build 5 arms houses, 1 at each of the 4 city gates, and the 5th at the palace gate, and donate there regularly. Stay strong in maintaining the precepts and practice the 10 responsibilities every day. Do not be biased. Be fair to everyone. If you do as I suggest, you will be loved by all, and they will remain loyal to you. This is the teaching that I will leave with you." Paying homage at the feet of King Sutasoma, King Brahmadatta replied, "I will remember everything you said. Know that I will follow your suggestions. There will be no mistakes." When the time came, King Sutasoma and the 101 kings bid farewell to King Brahmadatta and his officials and left the kingdom in a caravan surrounded by a large army. When they reached the main gate, before they part ways, King Sutasoma shared his wisdom with them. King Brahmadatta followed King Sutasoma halfway, then returned to his kingdom. When King Sutasoma and 101 kings arrived at their own kingdoms, the officials and citizens organized grand parades to welcome them. People decorate the streets with colorful flags, and there was a festival to celebrate the safe return of their king. In Benares, after the evil cloud hanging over the city finally moved away, King Brahmadatta recalled the kindness of the tree sprites and ordered a pond to be dug near the trees. He built a wall with multiple entrances surrounding the tree, and then placed a stand to hold objects to worship. He asked people to settle near the tree and encouraged them to care for it by clearing the area and he provided them with support. Eventually, this place grew and expanded into a large village. There were paths, stores, and markets, and people were always passing by. The king named this town Kammasapatta home, a memorial to the time when a wood stick pierced his foot. The Lord Buddha told the story of Porisat the Cannibal to a group of monks because they had asked him about the past life of Venerable Angulimala, a monk who was led astray by his teacher and became a murderer and collector of several fingers. He was reformed by the Lord Buddha only after Angulimala attempted to murder him. By telling the story of Porisat, helped to illustrate to the monks the similarities between Venerable Angulimala and how King Brahmadatta became addicted to the taste of human flesh, and how even though he continued to commit many sins, kill and eat many people, he redeemed himself because of his devotion to his teacher and did not want to harm a virtuous friend. Porisat was willing to listen to and practice the Dhamma even though his life may be at stake. Porisat eventually realized that following the Dhamma, maintaining the precepts, and donating alms enabled him to return to rule his kingdom and his glorious life as King of Benares. The lesson for us today is that having a virtuous friend is significant. Without a virtuous friend who suggests the moral way to live life, we could make mistakes and enter a place of suffering. Because we all want a glorious and happy life, we should associate with a virtuous friend and follow their guidance. Also, helping others bring a sense of fulfillment, and having good relationships provide us with blessing throughout our existence until the day we reach nirvana. I hope you enjoyed the story and the moral teaching in this Porisat the Cannibal. In the next story, Viturab the Wise. What is the next story is like? We will continue coming up soon. See you again next time.